Good morning, guys. Did you like the title of this? You Can Count on Me? Counting on our fingers? Yeah, you know, sometimes you've got to do those silly jokes. Let's get started. Good morning and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I'm here with a calm and slow, easygoing doodling time. If you've got a pencil and a piece of paper, a pen, scrap paper from the recycle bin, whatever you've got around, go ahead and grab it and get ready to just have a quiet and relaxing morning. I am really having fun doing these hands. I did this one first in my little Arteza mixed media pad. I seem to be doing a lot of practicing and just getting things going. The mixed media paper is nice because it's smooth on one side, has a slight texture on the other side. So I flipped my book over. That's why it's upside down. If anybody wondered, why is your book upside down? It's because I like the smooth side of the paper better. Oh, and if you notice some like spots of white around my head, I just realized that the sunlight is coming through the east window behind me, and it's coming behind my green screen. Oh, if you're new here, click that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when new videos go up. I have a ton of fun videos on my YouTube channel. Over 600 videos now. We're heading towards 100,000 subscribers, so I'd love to have you join us. If you want to support my channel in a monetary way, you can purchase things through the affiliate links that are below in the more information box. You can join our Patreon. You can click on the super chat. Any of those ways are ways to support my channel monetarily, but you don't have to do that if you don't have the money to do it. You can support me by subscribing and sharing my channel with your friends. So, all right. Oh, and share your art with me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm at Deliberately Creative. So there we go. Hit that like button. Thank you so much, Gina. Gina is my moderator today in the chat. If you have any questions, she might be able to answer them. Other people here in the chat may be able to answer them also. So you make sure that you check the chat and see if you get your answer that way. If you don't, or if I see your question before they answer it, I'll answer it if I have an answer. Now, I just noticed that my colors, the color of me on here is a little, how should we say? It feels a little dark. A little not. There we go. That's better. All right. So yay, people are making it in. Thank you. Now, if you could click that share button and share it on Twitter and share it to your Instagram, share it to Facebook, share it on Pinterest. That really helps also. This is something that's very Pinteresty. People like these types of doodles. I am going to doodle on a piece of watercolor paper. This is the Arteza 140-pound watercolor paper. It's very economical. Oh, and this one was done in, see, I'm kind of a walking advertisement for Arteza today because I've got a lot of their stuff. 3 different kinds of paper showing here. We've got the mixed media paper. We've got the sketchbook paper, which is a lot thinner than the mixed media paper. Oh, I traced my right hand. I am a right-handed person, so to trace my right hand, it didn't do too bad. With my left hand, you know, get your body used to doing things with the opposite side sometimes. We're going to zoom in here. Let's zoom in. And I'm going to be filling this hand with just random, ooh, there it goes. with random doodles. I'm really enjoying the florals, the leaves. I think that's because you know, it's coming on to autumn, and we just need a punch of nature. Punch of nature. There we go. Lots of good words. So, black and white doodling, one of the most fun and easy things you can doodle. And you do this big enough spaces, you have a coloring sheet. So, if you do these kinds of doodles, take pictures of them. So then you can print them out and color them and try different things. I think that's a fun way to go. All right, we are going to trace my hand. So just lay your hand down any way you want. If you've got a ring, sometimes it's fun to leave your ring on or your rings on and then work that into your doodle. That's what I did there. So you can put your hand any way you want. Why didn't I trace my left? I do trace my left. I was just showing that I had traced my right. This is my left hand that I did here. And that's what I'm doing today. All right, I'm going to take my watch off so I don't bump into that. There we go. So I have pretty small hands. This is an 8 by 10 piece of paper. This book is a 5.5 by 8.5. Yeah, 5.5 by 8.5. And I was able to get my hand on a 5.5 by 8.5 also. So find a piece of paper that's big enough for your hand. So I do have a very kid-like hand. The shape of my hand, my fingers are about the same length as my palm. Just all part of the staying young look. so, and if you kind of squeeze your pencil in or pen in closer to you, you're going to get a few more of the little bumps and lumps in your fingers. Kind of fun. Go all the way down into that deep crease. This is a good project if you've got kids or grandkids, neighbor kids that you do things with, if you babysit, having them draw around their hand. There we go. See what I was talking about? The lumps from your ring? So one of the first things I like to do is go in and sort of outline the ring. I'm going to just make it a little bit more simple. See, mine, well actually, maybe I'll do that. I'll put like a little swirl going on that side and the swirl going on that side. See, get my little ring in there. I am going to zoom in. So we're going to move to the closer up page. If I can find my mouse, there it is. Get down closer up. So, you know, when you've got a template, your hand, it's easy to draw around it. And then you've got, you know, proportion and all of that. Fun things. Oh, I have all kinds of lumps from arthritis in my fingers. My fingers have been doing this since I was about 20, 25. I started getting some lumps and bumps in my fingers. Just, you know, it adds character. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm looking at my hand and going, I want my fingernails on here. And you know, if you drew close enough to your fingers, you've got some of those little lumps and bumps here that give you your sort of shapes. And then remember on your thumb, it's not flat. Your thumb, at least on my thumb, my fingernail, you only see about half of it. And now that fingernail actually looks like a toenail, doesn't it? Oh well. It's kind of fun. Put your little moons in. Gives you just that tiny little sense of realism. without it being realistic. This is a totally doodle thing. You did your grandson's hands last week. Yes. Oh, this is a fun way to have a put into a memory book or anything like that. Trace the kids' hands every year. That's one of the things I miss about when my son was small. We would get a picture of his hand every year. You know, on for Christmas we would get cards made with his hand or make ornaments with his hands. We're starting to do that with our grandsons this year, I think. So now I'm just putting in some more lines, just doodling. This is going to be fun and calm. I really enjoy this sort of look of almost like the lacy mitt being on there. So you can doodle your whole hand up. You can doodle just parts of it. That's what's fun here, is that every single one of these is going to be different. It's going to be an expression of your creativity. And that is what we need. Just expressions of creativity. So I'm looking at this. I really like that flower. I think I'm going to do it, but I think maybe I'm going to slip the flower down on my hand a little bit. So I'm going to put my flower right here, more towards the thumb. And I'm doing circle in a circle. And then I'm going to put some little tiny petals. Let's zoom in on that so you can get a better view. Yeah, it's good stuff. Having it as a memory, I go through periods of time when I really enjoy doodling on my hand, but I'd rather not doodle directly on my hand. So this is a great way to do that. Another one that's a lot of fun is when you stack hands. So say you've got a dad's hand, and then mom's hand, and then a kid hand and a kid hand, and you stack all the outlines, and then you can color each hand in with a different color, and then put your doodles on them. It's a fun way to have a family portrait without taking a picture of the family, because you can get kids to put their hand down long enough, even when they're teenagers, if you're going to tattoo their hand. And then you have a family portrait. It's also a fun way to do cards. So just grab the pen and paper. This is just going to be a black and white doodle. I think if I like it, I might be doing some of these as maybe on a shopping bag. You know, getting it printed on canvas tote bags. I think that would be fun. You know, give the earth a hand. So I'm going to do these pretty much like this. This is kind of a dahlia, flat-petaled dahlia type of look, I think, or maybe an anemone flower. You can round your petals, you can stack them up, have them really close to each other, you can put space between them. You can curve them down like they're actually on your hand. I like that. Just put those doodles in. And when you're doing it, if you think about where your pen is going and you're being mindful of how you're feeling, you know, make sure that your body is being held in ways that's comfortable for you. Don't try and draw all crammed up upside down. I'm just taking a quick look. Quick question for everyone from Australia. So, doodling refers to something else. I don't know what that means. Drawing as well, but it's the same in other countries. I'm not sure, Stephanie, what you're talking about. If you can elaborate, that would be lovely. But you meant doodle. Oh, so doodling. Doodle refers to something else. Okay, so yes, it can be. It can refer to other things, but in my case, doodle is drawing with no set outcome. So I knew that I'm going to trace my hand, but the outcome of what the drawing inside of the hand is going to look like at the end, I'm not sure what it's going to come out as. And that removes the pressure. I don't have to have it match my reference. I can do this and just have it match itself. And that's the cool thing, is that you can just have it end up being whatever it's going to be. You Australians, it's just like Americans have some really, really crazy ways of saying things that, means things in other parts of the world. But here, a doodle is just drawing and creating fun artwork. And that's where we're going to stay with that. All right, I think I want to put a little bit of an outline. I love the Australians, and I loved going to Australia. We did that for my 40th birthday, and that was a few years ago. It was also the trip that we took for our son's graduation, and it was our 20th wedding anniversary year. So we had a whole bunch of stuff piled into our Australian trip. And we got to spend about 19, almost 20 days, I think. It was like 20 days on the ground there, but then when we came home, we lost a day. So now I just want to doodle, just draw. So now you've got me self-conscious about that. Oh my goodness. So, oh well. We're going to have fun. Yeah, thank you for keeping it clean. Yeah, we're a family group. We have lots of people who join us to do artwork with their kids, knowing that this is not a kids channel, but I do artwork that is fun for teachers to share with their kids in class. I do artwork that's awesome for parents to share with their kids, especially in this day and age when a lot of kids are still home, even though school has started, and even though they're connecting with their teachers online now, and they're coming up with better ways of doing the remote schooling, parents are still going to be helping their kids, especially parents of small kids. So having something that is art related, that you can do, that kids can do too, is a lot of fun. I'm going to put a bit of a shadow down underneath of this petal. I'm going to work my way all the way around. I'm just doing it on one side. Neat thing about this type of a drawing is that you can make it as detailed as you want or as simple as you want. And like I said before, you can make these into coloring pages. I am thinking about, I wonder if I did 25 hands and maybe found some different people, different hands that I could trace, and did a coloring book of just these detailed hands. Detailed as in just designs on them like this. If anybody would be interested. I'm anxiously waiting my coloring book from the Art Sherpa. They're in production now, I believe, but we haven't got the information on how to order them yet. So, as soon as I have that information, I will be sharing it with you. Because I did all the artwork in that book based on the world of Cinnamon Cooney, the Art Sherpa. I did a whole coloring book in the mandala style. So that's going to be a super cool, fun thing. And I have to find out from them what design they're going to use as a promotional design, so I could maybe get that posted. But I have to wait until I find out from them. That's the hard thing, you know, when you're doing something with someone else's publisher. You don't have the control over the timing of things. You also don't get paid until it's printed. Oh, Nancy, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you. Yeah, using it in your art class. There's all kinds of ways of getting the kids, you know, stretching their creativity a little bit. And bless you for going into the classroom. It's a hard time. But getting the art and the creativity out there for the kids is so important. Just like the kids getting outside and, you know, getting exercise and not being tied to their computer or their phone all the time, but getting outside and getting some fresh air. Ah, you found me through Cinnamon the Art Sherpa. Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, I started following her about 5 years ago. And when they approached me about a year and a half ago about doing the coloring book, so that's been a project that I've had going. I've actually had the artwork done for almost a year. But with timing and all these different things going on, you know. Plus, they moved house during the time when we were just getting ready to go to production. They got their new house. So, you know, you have to go with the things life tosses towards you. I'm just putting little details in. I'm just going, oh, what do I want to put here? I'm really not doing a full lesson on this. You're just coming along with me as I draw today and doodle. If you enjoyed this type of a video, please click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Oh, and anybody that is a person that came along after I started pouring, I'm actually going to be posting some pouring videos here They are pre-recorded because I just lost my words. They're pre-recorded because I'm going to be doing a vacation trip soon, and I needed to have content going up for you guys. Well, that's fun. I like that. All right. So I think I really enjoy the ribbon that's going on here and coming down the hand and acting like it's wrapping around. I think I'm going to wrap that around from my finger and maybe come around the finger a couple times with like a ribbon. And you see how I'm doing that. First, I'm just going and doing these parallel lines that are going in a slight arc. And then I'm going to say, all right, this one's coming maybe like that. So now I know we're wrapping around the hand this way, this way. I need to come up between my fingers there. I'm going around my hand, and then I'm going to come over here and just have it land under the flower. It's coming around. And then I've come around, I'm going to come over, and I think I'm going to have it just come out over here. See? Just like that. It's not a bandage. It's like somebody, you know when you were a kid and you would wrap ribbons around your fingers? Well, maybe that was just me. But, what a beautiful gift. Darcy, making a coloring book for your grandson, something that you want to leave to him. Yeah, it's doing things like that. I've been thinking about how when my grandfather was getting older, we would go over and visit, and he would recite poetry and epic Western poems, you know, cowboy poetry that he learned when he was a kid. And it was so much fun because he would put it on, he would go with his dad to town when he was a kid. And my grandfather was born in 1908. And so they rode horses and mules into town, or they took a wagon cart into town to go get feed for their animals and things like that. And so he would take his quarter or nickel or penny or whatever he had and buy the old cowboy Western magazines. And on the back there was always a poem or a little epic story. And he would memorize it. He'd ride, when they were taking care of the sheep and the cattle, he would ride his animal, and he would work on memorizing poems. Now, my grandfather did not go past the 8th grade when he, you know, that was considered, he'd done his education, but he was a very, very intelligent and learned man. He always was reading. And when he was on his 100th birthday, I recorded him doing his poetry. So we have that as a memory. And maybe someday I will post it, but, you know, online. But it's, you know, it's fun to have him recorded. He lived until his almost his 101st birthday. Doodles over paint pours. Yeah, yep, that's kind of what I want to do But I have my paint pours. I've got them. I did 5 pouring videos yesterday and recorded them. And I'm actually so thankful that I'm doing this drawing lesson today. This fun little calm and quiet time. I kind of want to go in and maybe I'll turn the background music on, and we'll have that play in the background, just because I may go a little bit quiet. But yeah, doing these and doing doodles on top of the pours. I used the same colors in all 5 of the pours. I had gotten a surprise package in the mail from DecoArt. Because I'm I'm on their list of DecoArt helping artists. I every once in a while get surprise packages from them in the mail. And I can honestly say the colors they sent me, I was not really tickled, because there was a beige. I'm like, I'm not a beige person. Don't really like beige. Oh, did I just see that it's Amy, or not Amy? Amy is telling Gina happy birthday. Gina, happy birthday. Woohoo. I'm scrolling back up through. So there. So happy birthday. Dotting works. Oh, dotting is great. Dotting is great for doing doodles on your pours. One of the things, and Stephanie Chandler, you probably know more about it than I do. The artwork, the Aboriginal artwork, where they do their the dot paintings. I know they're very they can be very significant to the person who's doing it. So I try not to appropriate other people's cultures, but sometimes I'm so entranced and enthralled. I want to do some of the journey type art, like the Aboriginal journey art, just because it's so pretty, and we're all on a journey. Oh, your birthday is on Saturday. Oh, so I have time. I'm going to put multiple patterns in this ribbon, so each section might have a different pattern, and that could just be because it gives me sections of things to fill in. Well, happy birthday, Gina. Enjoy your birthday week. I always have a birthday week, and my birthday is at the beginning of May, so I have a birthday couple weeks, because I do a birthday party with one of my sisters and her husband usually. We didn't this year because of stuff, but we usually do a birthday party with the 3 of us, and so that's usually the week before my birthday. And then I do birthday with my husband, and maybe my mother-in-law, and our son and grandkids, and his wife, my son's wife. And then I do but that might be on a different day. And then we do just a quiet, Mark and I do something at home. So yeah, I end up with like a birthday couple weeks, and then it's Mother's Day. So May is my month. I love it. I am just filling in with pattern, stacking this. This is kind of like a log cabin quilt pattern, going back and forth there. And when you go in and break things up into sections, it makes it easier to fill an area. And you end up with some surprising shapes and things like that happen. Again, all part of just doodling. If you are a quilter and you've done a lot of quilt patterns, you know how it is to piece things together. And that's really what we do here. I like that. I like that. Now, I'm going to leave the hand part just white right there. I'm not going to fill that in. I might fill in something over here on the thumb, but I'm going to leave space between the ribbons, so that gives us more of that effect. Oh, doing a half birthday. Well, Miss Amy, yes, you should do a half birthday. You should have your half birthday in July, so then you can have a barbecue party and have it when everybody wants to get together and do things. All right. One of my nieces, her birthday is on the 2nd of July, and so for her, there's always a barbecue. And we've always made sure that her birthday barbecue, that her birthday was being celebrated, not just the Independence Day. Let's see. I am just looking at that going, make it up. Just make it up. What am I doing? Just making shapes. See what we end up with? Maybe I'll do that. Put a square on it. Maybe this one's going to get like a little quilt pattern again. Little piece squares. But just being random. I like that. If it was being done with, colors, it would look like modern art. Well, so what you do is Amy, what you do is you go in to your Google Calendar and you set an alarm for the Monday of the week that you want to celebrate your half birthday. And you set it now, because you can set your alarms for things way in advance. And then make sure that you title it, celebrate half birthday. And then you can start planning some things. Or set it on your husband's phone. Just go in and go to his calendar and set a half birthday for Amy on his phone. And then if you forget and he is reminded and remembers, he might even surprise you. So what I did here is I just did a little scallop. I'm just putting a thicker outline on it. So just filling with patterns, whatever comes to your mind. If it makes it easier for you, bring up a site like pattern-collections.com, and go to their little search and do a search for fill patterns or ribbon patterns. And you can just go to town. It makes it nice because sometimes you just don't have any ideas and you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Or if you're doing this with kids, bringing up patterns on a separate, on a device that you can show to them. A lot of kids are really good at just looking at a pattern, just even a finished pattern, and drawing what they see. If they're told that they're not being graded on how it turns out, but they're just being given the opportunity to explore. All right, so what am I going to do down here? I think it's just going to get maybe a little half circle, or just fill it with sort of little arcs. That's fun. Oh, it looks like this flower is tied on like a badge, doesn't it? That's I like that. Oh, Amy, so your friend that has a 4th of July birthday. Yeah. My grandfather's birthday was on August 8th, so he was born on 888. A very considered to be a very auspicious year, a very lucky year, or a lucky number in Asian cultures. And when they had the Olympics on 888 2008, and he was 100 years old, one of my cousins, her husband was a cameraman for a big news station, and he was working at the Olympics filming, doing the video recording of different events, and he was at the opening ceremonies. And he called up because my cousin was at my grandfather's house because of my grandfather's 100th birthday, and told my grandfather to watch the television because they were having a huge party to celebrate his birthday. It was so fun. All right. Oh, this is looking good. And you know, you can fill it with as much or as little as you want. There's going to be some more doodling here just because I'm in a mood. You know, get in the mood. Oh, I think I'm going to put the little shapes in on the diamond or the gem. Like that. See, doesn't require very much. The squirrel hit. I had to go and follow the squirrel. There we go. Fun stuff. Oh yeah, my cousin's husband, he had been at, oh gosh, I think he had gone to all of the Olympics from like 1990, from the early 90s clear through Japan. He would do both sides. So he would do the winter and summer. So he went to a lot of Olympics. I think he was at Salt Lake. I know he was in Vancouver. I know he was in Japan. Yeah, he's been all over the place. All right, what pattern do I want to put in here? I think I want to fill this one because it's bigger. I'm going to fill it with some more flowers. So I'm putting some circles down. And I think I'm going to little tiny petals, like the little calendula type daisies. Little teeny tiny ones. And then those, the centers, I'm going to put little circles. So doing slow doodling like this, are you guys having fun? Are you enjoying the time? And if you are new, thank you for joining me here. I really appreciate it. Please click that subscribe button and the notification bell. We are working our way towards 100,000. I'm over 91,000 right now, so woohoo! I am so blessed and grateful for every single subscriber and for everyone who has come in when I was doing some other kind of art and stuck with me. Thank you. That is really, really so awesome. And yes, when I go into my drawing brain like this, I definitely become simpler with my language. Because the side of my brain that is doing the art is not the side that has the words. Well, hello, Lizzie, a new lurker to the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Zen Doodling, so much fun. I do all kinds of doodling. And when I teach how to draw things, I'm actually calling it doodling also, because I want you to not be tied to a preconceived outcome every time you do something. When you're learning, giving yourself the permission to be a beginner and to have fun and to just learn is really, really the best blessing there. So if you get a chance to share my videos with your friends, oh, look at that. Okay, so that bit right there reminds me, now I was a baby in the 60s, I was a kid in the 70s, I was, well, a kid / teenager in the 70s, and this reminds me of the bell-bottom jeans and the headbands tied around the long-haired hippies. It's so fun. Oh. Yay, thank you. I'm so glad this is what you needed, because, you know, it's what I needed right now. Like I said, recording. I recorded 5 pouring videos, all using the same colors, but they all look different. And that's the cool thing that I wanted to take away from that. See, I eventually got around to finishing that story. So pouring videos. I've also done some slow swatching videos where I did a slow swatching of 100 and okay, you guys are getting a sneak peek. A slow swatching of 120 colors. Okay, that's all you get to see. And be watching my channel if you want to have just me on in the background chattering along, kind of like doing this, but with just coloring in those shapes. Oh, here. I need to give you a better shape. A better show here. There. Now you can see the whole thing. Isn't that pretty? 120 colors. Ooh, look at that. Zooming out. You had polyester pants with that trim. Oh my gosh, I think everybody had polyester pants. Polyester pants, or they had denim bell bottoms. But I had a Kelly green polyester jumpsuit that zipped up the front when I was 11. And I loved the color because my teacher loved that color. No, I don't record boring videos. I record pouring videos. Oh, Amy, that's funny. But I wonder, anybody interested in boring videos? Some people might say that my long play videos are not the most engaging. But you know, I have fun doing these. All right, one more pattern. I think it's going to be... Let's see, what do I want to do? Oh, I could do that. So I'm going to put dots. There's different... there's different things like Zentangle and pattern drawing and things like that. But if you look at all the things those people share, oops, I just went backwards and forwards. Oh well. That they share about different patterns, you start to notice that patterns are patterns. And shapes going together are shapes going together. And many of the Zentangle patterns, the official patterns, are actually... See, I'm just going to make it go right. They're actually tile patterns. And what Zentangle has done is that they have made it accessible to people and given step-out instructions. Well, Pattern Collections does the same thing. They make things accessible. So I am not teaching you Zentangle. I'm not, teaching you the patterns off of Pattern Collections right now. I'm right now trying to recover from making an interesting choice. Ooh, okay, we could do that. Because that is what we do when choices get made and strange things happen. You just roll with it. I'm not going to worry. This is one little itty bitty part of a whole doodle, and once it's all done, nobody's going to know that I had a different idea for what was going on there. So because that dot ended up in a weird place, I'm just putting more dots in weird places. Kind of like when you do something out of place once, it's a mistake. But if you repeat that mistake in drawing, it becomes a pattern. So see? Now it's like a piece of ribbon with a piece of ribbon. I'm looking at the... Oh, don't worry about that, Miss Amy. I actually am partially... I have a hearing deficit also, which is why in person I have to listen to things very, very carefully. And in group situations, I am rubbish with my hearing. I will hear things that nobody else had said. Let's see. I think I'm going to make a vine. And maybe put some leaves on it. I will look at my husband sometimes, and when he's been talking and he says something, I will look at him and I will say, I know you didn't say what I think I heard you say, so if you could please repeat what you said, that would be really helpful. And then he would repeat it, and it wouldn't be what I thought I heard him say. It will be something totally innocent. There we go. See? Just put things in where it makes sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to make sense to you. There we go. Maybe another one right here. And by doing this very organically, very free form, it leaves it open for surprises. And I like the surprises that happen here. There we go. I love seeing the chat go by. If you have any questions, make sure and put them all in capital letters. And that's a smart man. Well, that could be. He is a very smart man. Kept him around all these years. Only boy I ever dated. Became my husband. I think I lucked out on the first try. Kind of like when we had our son. The reason why we only had one child is because we lucked out on the first try. We got a really, really the most awesome baby. My son was so good as a baby. We brought him home from the hospital. I mean, he was 3 weeks late, but he just had a little extra cooking time, and he came to us with full eyelashes, his big, huge blue eyes, that his eyelashes looked like daisies. The nurses on the maternity ward kept coming by to look at the baby with the big, huge blue eyes, and he would flirt with them. Nobody can tell me that he didn't know exactly what was going on around him when he was born. Another fun story of my grandfather was when they came to the hospital to meet my son for the very first time. My son was laying in his little bassinet in my room, and my grandparents came to visit, and my grandmother was watching as my grandfather walked across the room. And my son turned his head and tracked my grandfather. And my grandmother was like, Dodie, he's watching you. He's watching you. Walk back over here. And as he walked back over to my grandmother, my son tracked and watched him walk all the way back across the room. So we knew that, he was paying attention to what was going on around him. And then when we came home from the hospital, he slept. He slept so well. We would get 5 or 5.5, sometimes 6 hours of sleep at night, because he wouldn't wake up in the middle of the night. He'd wake up early in the morning, but not the middle of the night. So I was not very sleep deprived. It was amazing. Now, because he had cooked for so long, he was 9.5 pounds. So he was a big boy. And he had enough weight on him that even, after they're born and they sometimes will lose a little bit of weight, he still weighed the same amount at his first appointment. So he never lost, or he still weighed the same amount on the day that we left the hospital. And we left 2 days later, I think, 3 days later. So, pretty darn cool. So yeah, we got our awesome child on the first try. So we didn't have any more kids. It also made it so we could travel and we could do things and give him more, because, when you only have one, your life changes, but it doesn't change so much that you can't still do things. When you have to deal with multiple kids, things change, and more economies have to be maintained. But my son didn't lack for having compatriots his age. He was a year and a half old when I started taking care of my first niece. And I took care of her for a year so my sister could go back to work. So that was a lot of fun. So at a year and a half, he had a baby in the house. And then when my first niece got to go to the kindercare where my sister worked, my sister just a couple months later had my next niece. So that was a lot of fun, because then my son was 2.5 years old and he had another baby in the house. So he learned how to be calm around other kids. He learned how to share at the time when kids they need to learn how to share. And when you don't have a kid around, an extra baby around the house, only children don't always get the opportunity to find out that there are people who are deserving of attention that, you know, they may not be able to voice what it is they want or need, and that sometimes we have to help people who are weaker or who are not able to communicate as well. And oh my gosh, he is the best daddy. And I think it's because he had the opportunity to have the babies around him when he was young. And he grew up basically with the girls as almost like sisters. So to the point that when his first son was born, he told the girls that they aren't, second cousins to his sons, but they are his aunts. Or their aunts now, because my son has 2 sons. Yeah, Katie, sometimes it's like it's a fine line when those kids have been when they've been an only for long enough. It's hard for them to realize, but he is a good kid, and there's a lot of love in his heart there, I'm sure. And as the baby gets to be a little bit bigger and able to communicate a little bit more, they will become more friends. This is an interesting doodle going on here. Don't know. Just started putting lines down. See what happens. I think I'm going to put a little bit of a scallop. I like that scallop. Sort of softens it up, and I'm going to take it outside of the outline. You can break the line. You don't have to stay just inside the line. See? So then it makes it look more like that's a finger mitt of some kind. We're starting to fill in that shape. Yeah, so they'll become friends. My son, his boys, it's really interesting because his second child is much more like he was. His first child is a dynamo, but he takes his time on things, and his body style is more like my daughter-in-law's family, I guess, from what I've heard. When her brothers were younger, or cousin was younger, my first grandson reminds them of that cousin. So it's interesting to see how, the changes in genetics, the variations that happen when you mix different families together and you get these wonderful new human beings. But yeah, the second one is he's got a mind of his own, and he knows how to use it. And he's 3 now. So the first one is 6, and he's in first grade this year. I didn't talk to them yesterday to find out how first day of school went. They are doing remote school right now. But everybody wants to get back in to the classroom as soon as it is safe to do so. And I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm just sort of putting lines on top of lines. And really and truly, what is drawing? Drawing is putting lines on top of lines. I think what I'm going to be doing, though, is in the space between these little, like, roads or rivers or whatever they are, I'm going to fill with, let's see, sort of a teardrop leaf shape, or a petal. I don't know how that's going to turn out. Actually, it's turning out really cool. Yay! Sometimes you just have to let the pen do its thing. And then I'm going to put that little center line and a dot just because. I hope you guys don't mind that I've just been having some chatting. Yeah, you know. I think I'm going to put like little triangle spaces in between, and I'm going to color them in. I needed some more contrast. And that's the thing. Put some lines down. Look at it from a distance. I'm looking at it up in the monitor so that I can see it at a little bit different angle. Oh, that's working. And then I think this one, I'm going to put the little leaves going the other direction. Little teardrop petals. This is maybe some kind of a crazy flower. There's so many different types of plants out there in the world. You never know. There might be something that grows just like this. Neat thing here, this pen is the Eco Pen, and it is the 0.38 tip. It is very, very fun to use because it is waterproof, and we can go in and do color if we want to. I'm not going to do color this time because I want to get a picture of this. I think this one is going to end up on a shopping bag, maybe on the back of a shirt. Oh, wouldn't it be pretty to do something like this for like a maternity shirt where you have two hands that are all doodled up, that are like down on the tummy area. Who knows? Let's see. All right. Well, Nancy, thank you so much for coming. Make sure, check out the finished picture and see how it ended up. And have an awesome rest of your day. I know this is getting to be a little on the longer side. Now, in the replay, if people wanted to, they could put this into faster speed themselves. I'm not doing it faster, but you could always put it in a faster speed and to get through all the doodles if you didn't want all the chat. But this is definitely doodle and chat. And I hope you don't mind that it's a doodle and chat. Yeah, the parents' hands, that would be really cool to do as a special memory. Maybe that's something that I could do. I'm trying to think of ways to help build the studio monetarily, to keep it all going. Sometimes I don't know if I want to do commissions. I'm not really a fan of commissions, because with a commission you have a boss, but as maybe doing it with a masculine hand and a feminine hand, or a bigger hand and a smaller hand. Because really, is this a girl's hand? A hand is a hand. And hands, there might be some things some people might say are indicative of, the male hand versus the female hand. Hands are hands as far as I'm concerned, because my hands actually look very much like a kid. My hands could be a boy's hand, a girl's hand. Two hands with the thumbs down. The thumbs. Yeah, I've seen photographs of the, like the maternity pictures where they do the parents' hands in that shape over the tummy. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think I want to darken up that line right there. And I'm going to just darken it. I might leave a bit of a space so it feels kind of like a shiny spot. Maybe I'll darken up between those a little bit more. Ah, yeah. A little bit more here. Just doodling really gives your brain a chance to go into other places. Ooh. Wow. I like that. Let's see. Maybe I'll put sort of make it feel almost like it's a swirl coming off. Coming there and across to there. And I'm going to say that actually is going all the way up and out to here. Maybe there's a ring on this finger. Ring on that thumb. See, I don't mind that I've got those extra lines going through, where the thumb was. We can work that in. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Doing what makes me happy, what gives me joy. And if I'm bringing some joy into your life, I want you to know that you're bringing joy into mine. Being able to share time together this way, being able to doodle and draw and explore art, share, sharing our creativity, sharing our companionship during the show. Oh, it's not. There's nothing to hate on that, Miss Amy. I saw the fingerless gloves go in here too. Well, thank you so much, Amy, Katie, for saying that. I truly want to bring joy and beauty and love and light into the world, to build on the positivity, grow our community, because I believe that the more positive people are and the more positivity you have and share with others, the better the world is. And even in a time when the world is wacky, there's still things to be thankful for. There's still things to be grateful for. That's pretty. So there we go. That's kind of my connector phrase. So there we go. So there you are. So here we are. I think I want a little line coming off this way. See? Didn't do it to begin with. Can just put it in. And maybe another one coming down like that. Could be like a whole bundle of lavender flowers. Whoops. And turning it around and looking at it from different directions. Will sometimes spark a new idea, or it will just reinforce an idea that you already had and didn't realize I think I'm definitely going to want to color this, but not today. So, would anybody tune in to a coloring session? I need I need to play with some alcohol markers. And I have tested this ink actually doesn't react with alcohol marker. So you can do your line art with it, and then you can color with the alcohol markers. Well, thank you. Okay, guys, I think I'm done. I don't want to do too much more. I want it to, maintain some of that handness and not be too There we go. Wow. So let's see. My 3 hands that I've done just recently. We have that one. This one went a lot more wild garden. The first one that I did, right here, and the one we did today. I think I love them all. Maybe I should do a, let me give you a hand card. Or maybe a set of cards that are, all the different hands. Or a coloring book. Do you guys like the idea of a coloring book? An adult coloring book with all kinds of hands? I know I asked earlier. I love What the World Needs Now is Love. That is a song I sang in grade school. We had fun with that. Alright guys, thank you so much for being here. Make sure and check out the other doodle videos on my channel. I have beginner drawing lessons, I have painting, and I have crafts. Oh, and there's going to be a video coming up soon on 10 best tips to improve your coloring with colored pencils. There's going to be a video coming up with 5 folded books and how you could use them, especially with the kids staying home and needing crafty things to do. And now go out and do something creative. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. Oh, subscribe to the channel, share, and like. Turn on the notifications. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.